Bro, I'm telling you, he better fall back. He gonna be, look, Cuffy went on his shit and said, I ain't never copped to no murders. Listen, my nigga, word for word, the sealed documents I got, he copped to 2 bodies and 3 fucking guns. Cop to the dead bodies.
When you
Cop
dropping
to
the
him.
when you dropping the paperwork, what?
I just gave it to Flacco about 4 hours ago. But he, like, the fact that Cuffy got on there and said, I ain't never cop, nigga, you ain't got no, nigga, you copped the 2 bodies and 3 firearms, nigga. You was looking at the death penalty. And we got the sealed document where the nigga passed the judge a sealed letter in court and asked for it to be sealed. We got all that.
Hey,
Dude ain't right.
You know, Meech spoke out and said, Whack 100, we could do whatever. I'm down for whatever. And I ain't apologizing if I called out anybody's name. I ain't worried about what you gonna do. And no snitches get no play in our ride. We don't affiliate with no snitches. And, you know, he left a comment that shook the internet, man.
We all
Gene
got
Deal.
handlers, Chuck. Chuck, we all
Huh?
have a handler, bro.
Stop it, Wack.
You do. I got a handler.
hey,
I'm
my,
Lucy's handler.
hey, my handler tried to throw
I
me under
got
the
a
bus.
handler. My handler, yo, Chuck.
Now you heard what he just said. He has a handler. People think he's talking about Reggie Wright Jr., the police. You know what I'm saying? And the crazy part is he just said that Cuffy got sealed paperwork and he snitched on these murders, right? Now he is being exposed for lying, saying that he talked to Big Meech and saying that he talked to Cuffy's daughter and got her to give him this paperwork. She's denying that. Whether or not that happened, we don't know. But he's saying that he has this paperwork and that he got it through the daughter and she got him in touch with the lawyer. I know when he wanted to get sealed paperwork for 600, he told that man to go down to the courthouse and get it himself. And he claims that he reviewed 600's paperwork and he lied for 600. You know what I'm saying? So how did he get this sealed paperwork if he's lying about that? You know, we seen him flash a badge. You know what I'm saying? Everybody feels that he is a CI or undercover Fed. You know what I mean? Um, all we know is that there is still paperwork. Meech did say that, and Wack is saying that he got it. You know? You know, the dude, Rick Ross, I tried to actually save the nigga. You know, we went viral, 1 million views in 1 week on World Star, and then TMZ picked it up. Then when he got shot at, they put us on there again, and I told niggas the feds was coming or whatever, but he got on the radio lying, saying he ain't cutting no check and how he was in Chicago wearing a $40,000 mink when he was really in Champaign, Illinois. And the picture he took with Larry Hoover Jr. was because of Big Homie CC. Big Homie CC used to be the bodyguard for Rocky Fresh, and he said they would go places and GDs would pull up and get active. You know what I'm saying? He's an insane GD, you know what I'm saying? And that's how he ended up taking that picture with Hoover. But here is the paperwork to where they're saying that he basically contacted the feds, his label contacted the feds and all of that. My homie OG, he got 40 years. He posted the paperwork, you know what I'm saying? I'm on that mixtape. Y'all check that out. My song, 10 Bodies, 12 Attempts, the Hate Committee mixtape. But yeah, man, the dude, you know, when he got down with Puffy, he got brand new on niggas, you know what I'm saying? He fell out with Ball Greasy. He fell out with Trick Daddy, E-Class. Now he done fell out with Gunplay. At one point he fell out with Briscoe, even though Briscoe be shouting him out like he's still cool with him again. I see that he went on Trick Daddy's podcast and all that. But dude's funny, man. You know, he inserted himself in the beef with T.I. and with 50 Cent and now Drake. Our rule exposed about the restraining order and the lawsuit, but really it was this engineer that did it, and Tony Yayo was gonna file a lawsuit as well. You know what I'm saying? But we got real paperwork where he tried to get his assistant to snitch on Monster, saying that he stole $600,000 and that he stole some Rolls Royces. You know what I mean? He tried to get her to do some third party snitching. You know what I mean? Right here is the paperwork where he snitched on Jimmy Henchman. He had somebody call from a phone, telling about an unsolved murder and the phone traced back to 50 Cent. This is real paperwork. All these fans want to ignore all of this shit, man. And then you got to look at how he files lawsuits on people, man. Tierra Marie tracks NYC, the jeweler, the Dick Doctor Company, you know what I'm saying, suing his baby mama. You know what I mean? Any nigga that get out there filing lawsuits is crazy. You know, he swear he paid $24 million to have lawyers fight lawsuits when he got sued for some headphones, you know what I'm saying, trying to steal the Dre Beats idea. And then also the $7 million judgment he had for putting out the sex tape that had Rick Ross's baby mama involved, you know what I'm saying? And then he has lawsuits like Bryce Hall going at him, then the female he put hands on and all of that. Plus when he threw the microphone into the crowd and he hit a fan, you know, he had a lot of lawsuits coming at him, you know, but now he is out here suing people, man. But this shit that Miss Myers is putting out about him, bruh, is RICO.
I can't prove it. I got to go back and look at it, but something just clicked. There's a woman that sued 50 Cent. Bloomberg posted it. Bloomberg Law posted it. No black media sites picked it up whatsoever, but because I read the white publications that came across my desk, that he was trying to seal a survivors under that New York Act lawsuit, alleging that he had did some pretty bad things to a woman that he used to work with or was close with, okay? He ran down to the judge and asked the judge to seal it, saying that it would ruin his reputation and he could lose a lot of money connected to his ad deals and things like that. And he's also trying to challenge the lawsuit because apparently she is going after his company insurance. I don't know who the woman is. I'm gonna find out. They're gonna let me know, I'm sure, after they get their money, if he don't put them on an NDA, because he's notorious for doing that, okay? Buying their life rights and negotiating that so they can't come out and talk. And if they do, he gets to sue them or shut them down or put them on gag orders to help protect his mommy issues, because that's why he doesn't like women in the first place, is because it started with his mom, you know? And so, but he's trying to shut her down, stating that the insurance shouldn't have to pay if if he had filed bankruptcy, if this happened before he filed bankruptcy, which is true, then it should be included in the bankruptcy. So he's having his lawyers open up his bankruptcy to include this judgment that she's trying to get, so that he doesn't have to pay it. He goes around it. He goes around it, okay? He's very good at what he does, but it only can last for so long. Well, his ex-manager, I guess a VP, came out with a lawsuit, and it's structured like a book. Like, it reads like a book. I was just reading this like butter, baby. When I tell you he ain't had time to seal this, and this is in the Northern District of Georgia, Atlanta Division. The woman's name is Monique Mayers, okay? So just bear with me for a second. We're going to get through it. It's really not a lot, but I want to make sure I touch on key details to let you know why he is being sued by this woman and what she is alleging. She was around him for 12 years, and she is alleging that he forced her to commit crimes, okay? All types of crimes. Diddy-like crimes, especially with the bullying and stuff. It ain't nothing really sexual in here, but just the business practices in itself, okay? So real quick, she says, comes now Monique Mayers through undersigned counsel and files this lawsuit against Curtis James Jackson III, okay, a.k.a. 50 Cent. All right. And so she goes on to say, Jackson ran his workplace the same way he built his public persona, through fear, humiliation, loyalty tests, and punishment. Money brought power. Power demanded obedience. Anyone who refused became a target. Now, we see that happen on his social media, okay? Ms. Mayers refused after 12 years inside Jackson's operations. She would not hide property in her own name to conceal Jackson's connection to a transaction during his bankruptcy-related reporting period. She would not file a false police report accusing 50 Cent's driver, bodyguard, Bajar Walters, a.k.a. Monster, of stealing Jackson's vehicle and approximately $600,000 in cash. Ms. Mayers would not lie to police. She would not frame another person. She would not risk federal charges or prison to protect 50 Cent's secrets. Jackson responded with retaliation. He fired her, caused Forbes to retract a career-defining feature about her, and unleashed a years-long intimidation campaign. Over the next 6 years, Ms. Mayers received more than 80 harassing and threatening phone calls and messages. Jackson, who is 50 Cent, also gave her personal number to people trying to reach him, turning her private life into another instrument of retaliation. The message was unmistakable. Protect 50 Cent's secrets or use Jackson's words. Suffer the consequences. I told you it reads like a book. Another little novel, okay? Now, Jackson later gave Miss Mayer's name to state authorities, including the FBI. She's saying 50 Cent gave her name to the FBI as a background witness in matters involving alleged fraud and kickbacks connected to his ongoing litigation, both civil and criminal, involving his alcohol brand Sire Spirits. Didn't Diddy have issues with De Leon and then that whole federal indictment came down? He apparently believed the FBI would only use her as a witness in the civil case. He was wrong. Years later, when 50 learned that Ms. Mayers had been subpoenaed to testify before the grand jury, he lost control. A former insider was now under oath, beyond his reach, and able to expose what he had tried to bury. Within 24 hours of him finding out that she testified before the grand jury, his retaliation escalated. Ms. Mayers received threatening communications, including the message, "You will suffer, fifth." So he kind of abbreviates his name FIF, okay? Jackson then dragged the intimidation into a court-ordered deposition while Jackson watched on Zoom. Jackson is 50 Cent. His attorney, Miss Mayers, his attorney questioned Miss Mayers about the unsolved 2006 murder of Israel Ramirez, an event irrelevant to the case, unrelated to Miss Mayers, and 1 year before she worked for 50 Cent. That was not discovery, that was a warning.
50 going so hard at Diddy because he's hurt. That was his baby mama. And now look, she's with academics now. You was clowning on Lil Meech for Selena Powell, but she exposed you. She said you like to get your butt played in, and now she's saying you got a micro penis too, nigga. So, same thing, make you laugh, make you cry, man. Baby mama out here doing dicks. Now let's get to this Big Meech paperwork.
September 2011, Flannery, or Big Meech, requested Tammy Cowan's help coordinating delivery of a load of cocaine to be controlled by Suarez, who at that point was already in contact with CS1, or Tammy Cowan's. August the 5th, 2012, which is when Suarez is trying to get in touch with her to help him get in touch with Cuffy, because he's got the truck down there, the fucking truck down there, and I can't get in touch with Cuffy. That happened to August 5th, right? She never recants that, right? And we know that Big Meech set that up, or advised her to set that up, right? And, then August the 6th, after August the 5th, and she lies. She says that during that call, August the 5th, when Suarez is trying to get in touch with her, when Suarez is trying to get in touch with Cuffy, based on the number that Tammy Cowan's gave Suarez, Cuffy ain't answering the phone for whatever reason. She lies and says that while her and Suarez are there, her and Keith Cromer are listening to this on a three-way call. That ends up being a lie. She says this later because Keith Cromer was out of town with his family, and they checked that with receipts, hotel receipts, and on his credit card, Keith Cromer's. So that part was a lie. I think really the three-way call was with Cuffy. She got on a three-way call. Tammy Cowan's got on a three-way call with Cuffy and Keith Cromer, right? Now, Humphrey also talks about when Tammy Cowens changes her testimony, saying that Big Meech didn't have nothing to do with it, this is what he does. This is the attorney, Humphrey, for Gibbs. Okay, and as part of your earlier testimony, you clarified that despite what's in the document, Big Meech was never involved in trying to coordinate any drug deals between Mr. Suarez and Mr. Gatlin. Is that correct? She says that is correct. Right? So once again, let me tell you, everything that I'm coming from, all that I'm speaking from, is from this motion to... A lot of people are saying that her lies, which is true, she does eventually begin to recant her story and begin to outright lie about relevant matters in the case. She didn't have a case. She wasn't a drug user. I'm going to read it. It's in here. She wasn't already in jail trying to give information to get out. She didn't have no charges trying to work off time. She wasn't a drug user giving information for money and drugs. She cooperated against Terry White for whatever reason. I don't know. Her and Terry White had a romantic situation going on, and Terry White had a main lady, and Tammy Cowens was the side piece. And I think Tammy Cowens wanted to be more, and he was like, nah, and he was dissing her. So she was a jilted lover. And in her anger and frustration and love of Terry White and her inability to get him to commit to her, she jammed him up with what she knew. As it states in here, when it was all said and done, Terry White was indicted, convicted, pled guilty, and had forfeitures and seizures of property, cars, and money. At the end of the day, Tammy Cowens gets paid $55,000 for her actionable information in the indictment, arrest, and conviction of Terry White. And after this case, she says she becomes a full-blown DEA informant, paid 2009, right? This is when she starts busting Terry White's head to the white meat. When she provided information in a money laundering case which resulted in the successful prosecution and conviction of individual named Terry White. Although CS1, Tammy Cowens, was not initially a paid DEA informant, Tammy Cowens' controlling agent, Agent Jack Harvey, put Tammy Cowens in for an award that would be a percentage of the value of property forfeited by White because information provided by Tammy Cowens was so beneficial that the DEA made seizures from White. Now, here is the subsection. This is where it gets good.
The real meat and potatoes at. So I hope when Tammy do the tell-all that they go into the evidentiary hearings as well, because we can't just believe what she says. Anything that Tammy says about Meech, and I know y'all Big Meech fans will be glad about this, but anything that she says about me, anything that Tammy says about Meech, it got to come with receipts now, because as I go through this right here, if you read this Frank's motion with a fine-tooth comb, you're going to see that she is quoted and spotlighted by the judge in the case to have said conflicting different things. Second point I want to make before, you know what I'm saying, I don't really want to talk y'all to death, but the second point I do want to make is Tammy's testimony also conflicted with the 2011 interview notes of DEA Atlanta agent Smith. Okay? So, a person that's a paid DEA informant, they constantly got to debrief. They got to have meetings talking about actionable information. Okay? So, I went back to some of the evidentiary hearings. All the way back in 2011, DEA agent Smith paints a different picture that's consistent with the information in the affidavit to get Cuffy's phone tapped in the first place, okay? The affidavit that the U.S. attorney took to the judge to get a tap on Cuffy's phone came from information that Tammy gave. When Tammy gave that information in the beginning, she mentioned Demetrius, she mentioned Suarez, she mentioned Cuffy. That's why the wiretap, the Title III wiretap that they eventually got, like when we go into what's on that wiretap, you're going to really see and fully understand because nobody's talking about what's on the wiretap yet. In the notes taken by Agent Smith while interviewing Tammy, Tammy alleges Meech's involvement in the drug conspiracy. So in the beginning, while she's telling, right, while she's informing, let's not get to all the pop when Cuffy and Suarez meet after they connect, right? Let's just go back to when she's telling in 2011, before the dates that even occurred that Cuffy's incarcerated for. Once again, don't let nobody tell you that the case got dismissed. Cuffy pleaded guilty to the case once all this was done. Tammy alleged Meech's involvement in the beginning, according to these notes from 2011. I don't care what she changed it to at the end, and I'm not saying that we got to believe her, but this is what she said. She's a paid DNA informant. I don't know what to believe. You tell me. Another point I want to get to, like I said, I don't want to hold you too long. Specifically, on February 6th, all the defendants in the case, which is Cuffy and his whole crew of co-defendants, they filed pretrial motions, including separate motions to suppress wiretap evidence. Why? Because they know that the wiretap that Cuffy ever got when they came in there had Demetrius Flannery, Big Meech. It had his name in it. Once his name wasn't in there and Tammy switched sides and played the 50, she with the government and she with the defense. She's telling the DEA this. She's telling the defense team this. By the time all that occurred, Meech name not in the indictment when it come down. Now, am I here to get Big Meech indicted? No, that ain't my issue. My issue is that the affidavit file, which is going to start the case, they filed this affidavit to get a wiretap. Now they're investigating them. And they are investigating them for some time, not no one day. They jamming. That came from Tammy. No one is disputing that came from Tammy. The only thing in dispute is how much did Meech know? How much was he a part of it? I think we all fully understand that Big Meech told them to connect. Cuffy didn't know Tammy from anywhere. I asked Cuffy. I talked to Cuffy on the phone. Not last year, not the year before. I just talked to Cuffy the other day.
You heard that? These niggas be buddy with that nigga. That's why they going at Meech. Just like Sean G.
She never saw Meech the very first time when she drove to Louisiana, but that's a long drive. He wasn't in no bloody Beaumont. Meech ain't never set foot in no real penitentiary at all. People call Atlanta USP Atlanta, but Atlanta ain't been a real penitentiary in over 10 years. It's a hell of a men there, but that's not the Atlanta pen that everybody talking about. It's not even classified as a penitentiary. It's a medium or medium high, something like that. It's not a pen. But I seen guys saying he was in Bloody Beaumont. He wasn't no Bloody Beaumont, and he wasn't in a Pollock neither. He was in Oakdale, Louisiana, if I'm not mistaken. But nevertheless, when Tammy drove hours to Louisiana soon after she discovered that her cover was blown, she had an attempt to visit Meech. She never got to see him on that visit. So when people running around and they just quoting third party with somebody else saying, yeah, she went to see Meech, she didn't even get to see him that time. I believe she was trying to ruin the case. She knew that would ruin the case. Yeah, but back to what I was saying. I really believe Tammy was trying to ruin the case to stop everything from coming out about her. Because remember, she's made, let's say, hundreds of thousands of dollars providing actionable information to the DEA. You understand? She got paid $55,000 in the beginning, which she really didn't even fully understand how this thing goes. Like, she's been operating on this level at this point in time. If she started in 2009, you do the math. From 2009 to 2019 is 10 years. But
I've been up and down the federal court docket where Big Meech was accused of moving 500 keys worth $270 million all across the country along with his brother. They said his brother ran the West Coast, Big Meech ran the East Coast. They hit Big Meech with the kingpin charge. He was facing life. What he pled to, this is very important because this is going to help you understand why this man is not at all a rat. What he pled to was essentially directing an organization of 5 or more individuals in the sale of drugs, and what he was sentenced to was 30 years. Now, what he served was very close to the 30. After he pled, he argued for years with multiple lawyers that he was told that he would only get 20 years and that his lawyers misadvised him and that they should undo the plea. That never worked. Eventually, when he was released after serving a little more than 20 years. Now, why did he serve 20 years on a 30-year bid? Well, because of 2 criminal justice reform laws passed by our government. First, under the first law where they reduced the sentences for federal offenders, the lawyers for Meech were able to argue that under the new law, his 30 would have been 27. Then there was another First Step Act passed by, I think that was under the Trump presidency, and when they passed that law and they revised the federal sentencing guidelines, Meech's lawyers went back and they were able to argue that the 27 under the new law was actually 24. He started serving his time in 2005. He got out just recently after serving a little bit more than 20 years. With good time credit, it makes perfect sense that you would serve a little more than 20 years on a 24-year sentence. This man, accused of running one of the most, if not the most, notorious drug enterprises in the world, caught a 30-year sentence based on new laws passed revising the federal sentencing guidelines, had that sentence reduced twice, once to 27, once to 24, and so it makes perfect sense that without any snitching, without any cooperating, he served just over 20 years. Anybody calling him a rat should be sued for defamation. Anybody questioning the integrity of his plea and the time that he served is way, way off base, and they just are completely making it up for clicks. If you ever called this man right here a rat, 50 Cent, you should be ashamed of yourself because you have no basis. And if you do, please show me.
I have not seen anywhere in the transcript where it's documented that Meech signed the 5K1, or he did a Rule 35B, or he did a proffer agreement. And that's necessary, right? You need to see that in paperwork. Very knowledgeable source, affiliated with the DEA, that there is no third-party cooperation in the Northern District of Georgia. In the Northern District of Georgia, there is no third-party cooperation as it relates to drug trafficking or drug dealing or whatever. Point blank and frank, there is no third-party cooperation in the northern state of Georgia. Now, I need to apologize to everybody out there because I think my very first video that I did on this case, when I was just coming off of what I was hearing, right? Didn't know what I was talking about. I came out and I said that, did Meech do third-party cooperation? I even put that in the description title. This is the very first video because this is what I heard from everybody else. So I need to apologize for that, for speaking something that I didn't know nothing about, because I was not coming from the paperwork at that point. And if anybody is got firsthand knowledge. Any DEA agents that watch or anybody in the Northern District of Georgia, law enforcement, if you can, go in the comment section and confirm saying, but I'm pretty certain the source that I got this from expressly told me, Sean, there is no third-party cooperation in the Northern District of Georgia. The only way, there's only 3 ways that you can cooperate in the Northern District of Georgia with the DEA. Number 1, you could be a good Samaritan, a civilian that learns of some nefarious or criminal activity, and you decide upon your own choice, upon your own volition, to go to the authorities and say, yo, these people over here doing that, them people over there doing that. That is one way that you can cooperate. Number 2, you can be a paid informant, like Tammy Cowens, where you receive compensation from the DEA to investigate and provide actionable information about illegal activity going on in the Northern District of Georgia. And when you provide that information, you get compensated for that information. I don't know how that process goes. I don't know if you have to sign some kind of contract with the DEA to become one of them, but that is the second way. The third and final way that you can cooperate in the Northern District of Georgia is you yourself are a defendant and you come forward and provide information to help yourself in your own defense, in your own indictment. Okay? That's it. That's what I was told by a very, very knowledgeable source. Okay.
Yeah, that's an old clout chasing ass nigga. That nigga Lux, he used to be a homie. He had a couple of Fed cases already pending. Little dude, trying to, give him an opportunity, let him be in security. So, what do you do when the security supposed to be security? You give him the guns. He trying to make it seem like he threw it on him and all of this, that, and the third. He woke the nigga up and said, police behind us. Put the guns in the stash spot. The nigga told him no. We good. Police came, and then they was trying to put the guns on Lil Dog. Lil Dog tells him, like, so what we doing, bro? The nigga ends up taking the case. My little brother Boogie looks out for the nigga. And then you wanted Lil Meech to look out for you too. Somebody already took care of that. So in his mind, I kept hitting up Lil Meech. I kept calling him and telling him to work on it and fix it and handle it for me. But it was already taken care of. So since you didn't get no extra money on top of that, oh, you want to go to the blogs? Man, that nigga's a broad. We call that nigga clout mommy now.
Boogie sent him the money and he ran through the shit.
He ran through the money and he didn't give none of the money. Like the little portion that Boogie asked him for, he didn't send none of that or none of that. He ran through it all, blew all of that shit. Trying to fuck with little hoes and shit like that. The bitch ran off on him when all the nigga money was gone. So he started calling Lil Dog, trying to press him. Lil Dog like, man, I'm gonna make it right. I got you. But then Boogie called Lil Dog like, no, you ain't got shit to make right with this nigga. I already paid this nigga. I gave him enough money for the lawyer to, you feel me, to pay his bills up. And I gave him something else to, you feel me, to make sure, he's straight.
It was 4 people to
call him back and tell him. And that's the other part of the phone conversation he didn't post. Lil Dog called you back like, no, my uncle took care of that. Well, he like, you know what? All right, you know what? He did, and then hung up the phone. So for the last few months, he been posting little shit, hitting at it like, I'm about to tell everybody. Like, bro, come on, man.
How the blogs got it?
Taken care of.
How the fuck the blogs get it? Cause it's like 5 different people that posted
Bro,
it.
I told Boogie yesterday, so he posted that shit yesterday. I said, bro, this nigga don't got no followers. Like, bro, he only had 300 followers. Like, literally, this nigga only had 300 followers. I'm like, bro, how is it even 30 comments on this shit? This nigga he's sending that around to everybody.
Yeah. So it was 4 people in the car. Was he really asleep?
In the car.
Was he really asleep like he said? Or he was capping?
No, he wasn't. That's what I'm saying. He wasn't asleep at all. This nigga, Lil Dog, asked the nigga, like, bro, what should I do with this shit? Should I put it in the stash? This nigga told him no. All right, when they finally get behind him and hit the lights, this nigga trying to play like he's asleep.
You know that happened with BG. Nigga said he was gonna take the charge, and then when he got locked up, he tried to appeal it and all that. And BG had already spoke with the what's that shit when they had the little trial shit with the people or whatever. And they all agreed to the story. You know what I'm saying? And then the nigga try to say BG a snitch. He ain't a snitch. They all agreed to the shit. You know what I'm saying?
And that's exactly how it happened, bro. They all. Well, not all of them agreed to it because everybody else, they had little felonies and shit. But that nigga agrees to it like, no, just give it to me. This nigga tried to play sleep in. So when Lil Dog, I guess, from the story that everybody else say that was in the car is, he gave it to the nigga. And then when he stopped to pull over, this nigga tried to play like he was asleep and let it all fall out. Like, he gave it to the nigga. And it was like damn near in his lap. Like, by the time they pull over, he tried to act like he's asleep and let it all fall down to the side of the car.
Man.
Like, what? Come on, man.
Damn. So what, damn, I was finna ask you. Now, y'all heard what my brother Baby Truth said, man. Niggas out here lying on Lil Meech. Y'all need to stop with all the cap. Whack 100, 50 Cent, all y'all, man. Y'all niggas playing with the mob, man. Dudes is solid out here in these streets. Y'all little niggas in the comment section need to get some motherfucking money, man. Y'all don't even know nothing about this shit. There was no 5K1, no Alfred agreement, no proffer agreement, no Rule 35. You gotta have paperwork. You can't accuse somebody of ratting. You know what I mean? That dude, Sean G, went back and did all his research and said he was incorrect and he was wrong. And he said that he was speaking to Cuffy and influenced by him. And 607 Unc tried to say he was just riding for St. Louis. But now the truth come out. Y'all see that Cuffy got sealed paperwork, man. You know what I mean? Y'all need to stop with this bullshit. That chick, Tammy Cowan, she turned in her boyfriend, Terry White, and got $80,000. You know what I'm saying? And she got $55,000, man. She was getting paid for that shit. She crossed Cuffy because she wanted the rights to Meech. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. If she wanted to get him out using third party, you know, whatever, that's on her. But Meech would have had to sign off on that, and he did not. You know what I'm saying? That was her ass in love. You know what I mean? And they say that the agent said, oh, well, we could come back and revisit that or we could see about that. They could have just been spinning her, man, trying to get more and more bust. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy, man. Meech lost $270 million, so imagine how much he made. Everybody in his crew made $1 million, he said. When they busted him, when Wolf got killed, he had $1 million watch on when they appraised it. He never even went back for the watch. When they raided the houses, he never went back to the houses. He had a rental car service. So every time they got a car, it went back to the rental car service. You know what I mean? They had fake IDs. You niggas ain't organized like that, man. You couldn't go on a run like he did when he went to Miami and Texas. You niggas get caught in 1 week, man. You know what I'm saying? They say when they busted the damn gambling house, T had $5 million cash on him in St. Louis, man. You know what I mean? They didn't have no real evidence on Meech. He was supposed to only do 15 years. But when he went before the judge, they slammed him with 30, man. And the only reason he took the damn plea deal was to save his mama and his sister because they was on them wiretaps talking to his brother, man. Real solid nigga, man. Y'all niggas tripping, man. Them crackers got 630 keys, man. $3 million in cash immediately. Then the $5 million off his brother, man. 30 members was picked up, 13 mansions, 36 vehicles, man. Come on, bro.
For herself and said that I'm doing time for what I got away with. You know, you're not doing time for what they saying on paper because they had no evidence against me. So I realized I'm doing time for what I got away with. All the shit I got away with, you know what you got away with in life.
Absolutely.
You know what you done in life. You don't got to never speak on it. You know the things that you've done. I know the things that I've done. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying I did time for what I got away with.
Mm.
You know, now the Lord still brought us home early, brought my brother home in 15 years.
You really ain't come home early though.
Nah. I came home 7 years early.
How though? Because you got 28 years.
Okay. No, I had 30 years. Now what happened is you had the first
Step back.
before the first step back. You had the First Amendment, I think that was the 782. What they did is my brother was a category 1. A category 1. So he got 68 months off on the 782 amendment.
Mm.
I took my time because they didn't want to give me 68 months off. So I took my time before I filed the 782 amendment. Now, which was all drugs minus 2, right? So when I filed the 782, they like, look, you can't get no more than 36 months off because you're a category 2. Now, the reason why I was a category 2, because the judge gave me 2 points for getting off of probation in 91. My conspiracy is from 1990 to 2005.
Right.
The judge say, since you was getting off probation in 91, that was during the existence of the conspiracy, so you get 2 points for that.
God damn.
So that way that was what made me a category 2.
Yeah.
And I got only 36 months off. Thank God Trump come out with
First Step Back.
Before the First Step Back. He come out with you can't something like
when
that.
he changed the crack law?
What I'm talking about when he changed the it was the 2-point
reduction.
Yeah, he gave me a 2-point reduction, like
for nonviolent.
They had to take the pistol off. You can't charge. You can't do that no more. It was during the existence of the conspiracy, so you give me points for that and push me over in a further category.
Right.
I was supposed to be in the kid, so I got that before I got the First Step Act. I was already receiving time credits for the First Step Act, but it wouldn't kick me out because the BOP was faking like they don't know how to work it. Trump put the First Step Act in December of 18.
Yeah, I watched a lot of
2018.
niggas go home up there.
Right. But they act like they ain't know how to do it to 23. Get on the fucking computer and give you a negative comment. These people's opinions don't count. A person on a farm somewhere, opinion don't count for real. You got 100 comments, 90 of them good, 10 of them bad, but you let them 10 bad ones get to you. See what I'm saying? That's part of being weak-minded or having a weak stomach because you come up in this era. My era, I don't give a damn what you think. I'm pushing forward. I'm pushing forward. I'm not going to stay stagnated or go low because of what you think about me or you feel my hair wasn't right or I'm dressing too young. Like it's somebody else that just said my outfit looked great. They can't wait. You know what I'm saying? Then you got you saying, oh, well, he need to throw some older gear on. Then I got a picture with Air Force Ones. They ain't up to your standard. Then I got a picture with the Louis Vuitton shoes on. Why he put them on? Like, come on, man.
Yeah. You gotta gravitate towards the.
You gotta do what work for you. You can't please it. You can't spend time trying to please everybody. You can't make everybody happy. That's an impossible feat to accomplish. You can't make everybody happy. You got to make you happy and be concerned with the people that love you and love what you do.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? That's how you win. All that takes taking time out to deal with the negativity, man, you'll lose everything. You'll lose yourself included.
That's fact.